Good morning, Tuesday the 24th of January 2012. A warm welcome along to today's United Kingdom talk. Not been with you a couple of days. I've had very little voice and it's just starting to come back now, I'm afraid. So sorry about that, which was quite interesting at the quiz night on Sunday. Although I did manage to do it, we managed to complete the entire quiz with my voice not operating within normal perimeters, boys and girls. There I was struggling through it. And we made a bit of a technological breakthrough. On Sunday at the quiz, there I was doing my usual quiz at Belushi's in Hammersmith every Sunday between 7 and 10 p.m. if you ever want to join us down there in London. And for the first time, we were able to link up with none other than Millie in Minnesota, who joined us for the entire quiz minus the picture round, and she was able to hear us, and at the end I brought her into the conversation as well, so everyone in the pub could hear Millie as well. So that was quite good, wasn't it? Because Millie was sitting at home doing nothing. I said, do you want to join us for the quiz tonight? She said, how? I said, try this. So we tried it out and it worked very well. It worked like a dream, actually. I could see myself doing an entire live show in conjunction with the pub like that anyone could might want to join in with at home. Of course, you couldn't win the prize because the prize is a £50 bar tab. If you're not there, there's no point in you winning it, is it? That might be an idea for the future, that, with the old quiz night. Nice weekend, actually. I did this new place in Reading, the G Bar, on Saturday. A little bit quiet, but it was a good night. No complaints, anyway. And everyone appeared to have a good night on Saturday night. Also on Sunday, I decided to try and fit these. I've got some mud guards for one of the bikes I've got. I'm lucky enough to have two bikes. One's a mountain bike and one's a road bike. And the mountain bike I've had just over 2 years now, and it didn't come with any mud guards. And I've noticed this. Have you noticed now how things that you buy now seem to not be complete, if you see what I mean? In particular with mountain bikes. I'm sure in the past they came with everything on there. The bulbs, the lights, the bell, the mud guards and everything else. Now, you seem to have to buy these things separately. And I have been out on the bike without the mud guards on over the forest just near me, and it's a messy old job. Whenever you go for a puddle, the tyre drags up all the mud and water straight up your face and up your backside as well. It's dreadful, dreadful. You get a muddy bum. You really do get a very muddy bum and a muddy face. So I went out and bought these mud guards, and I'm afraid failed at the first hurdle. They appeared to be very simple to put on, but I couldn't work it out. What was the name of the make of them? Well, they were Bike Hut, I think it was. Bike Hut. And just two lots of plastic mud guards and some plastic things that you're pushing and screws and things like that. I couldn't do it. Could not do it. So on Sunday I took the bike. I've had these mud guards a while now. They've been sitting in the shed waiting to be done, and I had a bit of free time Sunday. So I took them back down to the shop, Halfords, explained the situation. Can I come back Monday and pick it up? He says, don't worry about that. We'll have them done in 15 minutes. Go and have a cup of tea. Are you sure? I said, yes. I said, how much will that be? He said, that's okay. The way we look at it, you bought it here. We'll put them on for you. How fair is that? Do you know what I mean? I'm very impressed with the service in Halfords there. So indeed, I went along to, they've got a Tesco's like home shop just down the road from Halfords. I sat there having a cup of tea and a blueberry muffin, only to watch someone collapse, which was all very exciting. I thought it was a show going on. I really did. I thought there was a show going on in Tesco's. And I didn't actually see the bloke collapse. I was just sitting there, quietly reading my copy of the Daily Mail, and I looked over and this bloke is just laying on the floor, surrounded by people. And I thought to myself, what a strange place to have a nap. You know? I mean, the thought of it, dear. An entire 4 chairs was taken up by this bloke laying on the floor. A little bit later, an ambulance arrived, and he eventually got up after about 20 minutes. And I think he was all right, actually. Very rude of that. Laying down in the middle of Tesco's to have a sleep. whatever next? I should have taken a photograph really and showed you, shouldn't I? Eh? So that was Sunday. And yesterday, Monday, I had an appointment. Friday, the Virgin Media man came. Now, I had an appointment booked at the dentist as well on Friday between... it was for an 11:30 appointment. I also had a Virgin Media appointment for a bloke to come round and to sort my internet out to increase the speed again. And the appointment was 8 p.m. till 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. The dentist was already aware that I had got a telephone man or an internet man coming round and I might not be able to make an appointment. They were fine with that. So the bloke gets to about 5 to 1. I've already cancelled the appointment with the dentist now. Gets to 5 to 1 and I think, oh, he ain't going to come today, is he? 4 minutes to 1, the phone rang. Hello, it's Virgin Media here. Just to let you know I'll be with you in 10 minutes' time. Oh, wonderful, you know. And do you know what I mean? Even if you get to that late in the day... It's okay because he's turned up, isn't it? Anyway, he came to the door. He says, yeah, nearly late. Sorry about that, mate. I said, don't worry, you've done me a favour. I haven't had to go to the dentist today. He said, oh, well, there you go then. I said, but I've had to rebook the appointment for Monday. I'm just coming on to this now, okay? So that's it. Bloke was here, give me a brand new modem. I think I showed you, and that's all sorted now. And we're now on high speed, very high speed internet, or at least high speed for this area, 50 meg. We're back on that now. So that was Friday. Now, yesterday, of course, was Monday, and I had my dentist appointment at 11:30. Now, I've got this tooth that was filled. It was either October, November. There didn't appear to be anything wrong with it before it was filled. Okay, there was already an old filling in it, and I think it was very, very old, this particular filling in it. And the dentist has told me that it looked like it was starting to break down, so he advised having it redone. Okay? So I said, okay, I go along with that. I always listen to the experts, and I usually generally go along with what they are telling me. So I agreed to have this filling done, and it was done. And he changed the silver filling. I think it's amalgam or something like that. He changed that for a white, a very nice looking actually, a white filling. And when he finished it, it all looked rather wonderful. And I thought, oh, that looks lot better than it was. During the course of the treatment, there is no pain at all. A couple of injections in the mouth and drilling, pulling, tugging, no pain whatsoever when he is doing the job. Ever since then, that tooth has become very sensitive. Not only sensitive, but when I bite on a certain area, I don't know if I can call it a pain. More of a sensation goes straight up. Crisps, anything hard like that, right? Okay. So that's it. I've been back a couple of times already, and he's filed down and done things like that. And the last time he went, he said, well, I'll do it a little bit more. He said, but what we can try next is to change the filling and see if that sorts out the problem. It might be that you're a little bit sensitive to this new type of filling. Okay, fair enough, I believe you. But if that doesn't work, you will need root canal treatment. Fair enough. And I said to him, you know, I understand this. I said, but it wasn't like this before you did the filling. You see what I mean? There didn't appear to be anything wrong with it. And he said, well, unfortunately, that's the way it goes, you know. But that filling was breaking down. I mean, what do you say? What do you say? So, I went Monday, and once again, he got the drill out. And I think he was drilling a long time this time. Of course, because he's got to take out the filling that he put in the last time, you see. I'm sitting here drinking a cup of tea with you, and I have to be so careful how I drink this tea because whenever the liquid hits that tooth, anyway, I'm coming to that. So he did this drilling for whatever it seemed like an eternity. Once again, admittedly, no pain at all in that tooth while he's doing the filling or anything like that. And that was it. He put the metal stuff in, and I now have another, I don't know if you can see it, another, okay, another silver filling in that tooth. That would have been about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So after that, come out of the dentist. Okay, come back if you have any more problems. Fine, that's all right as well. I've also got a little blister that keeps coming up at the bottom front of my tooth. That's neither here nor there. So as the day went on, you know, got to about 2 o'clock and I could feel this, you know, you've got this great big lump on your side of your face where you've had the injection, the anaesthetic, haven't you? As the day went on, this sort of went, you know, the anaesthetic feeling went eventually. And I'm left with what can only be described as a dull ache going up into my, you know, from the tooth to the jaw. Now, I'm recording this show at 6:45 on a Monday night. So it's now 6.5, 6 3/4 hours since I had the filling. And now I still have this dull ache that's going up the side here. And I have to say, the tooth is even more sensitive now. So I don't know what's going on there. I've got to go to work in 3/4 of an hour to do a karaoke night as well. And let me just turn something on. Sorry. Just a sec. I'm going to lean across and turn something on there. There we are. And quite frankly, I'm starting to worry now that it's not going to be all right tomorrow, and it's going to be even worse than it was last time, and it was worse than... And I don't understand why they've taken this filling out. Well, I do. He said it was starting to break down. But do you see what I mean? There was no pain until the filling was put in. It was fine. So I'm a bit perturbed, really, and quite frankly, I'm starting to lose confidence in this particular dentist, who I've been with for years. You may remember, regular viewers to the show, that I had a similar filling in the tooth opposite it on the other side of my mouth, and that took months to settle down. It took months, and even now, it doesn't quite feel right. Sorry, I've just got to push a couple of buttons here again. 1 second there. And just push that there, that's it. Even now, that doesn't feel like it was before it was filled. And it was a similar situation. That filling looks like it's starting to break down. And in that side, I still have the white filling. Although I will say to you, it is better than what it was when he first done it. You know, and again, I had to go back several times with that tooth as well. So, I don't know. I mean, if I do this, all right, but breathe in air either side, both those teeth, and in particular the one that has been newly filled today, pick up the sensation of the air, and it blimmin' well hurts. I mean, it really does. So we're in the wars at the moment, and I'm hoping tomorrow at least this aching dies down, and it will be interesting to see once that happens, if when I'm eating something hard, is that sensation still going to shoot through my mouth? Now, as I said to you, he's told me now, if that doesn't work, then go back again and he'll smooth it down again. But if that doesn't work, it's root canal treatment. Now, I have not looked this up on the internet. I have listened to people before who say it's not a very pleasant experience. I don't know exactly what goes on, and please do not write to me and tell me what goes on, because I'm one of those people who prefers, if there's something wrong, okay, go to the hospital, dentist, doctor, whatever, do what you have to do, but don't tell me about it. You know, as a dear old lady I knew, her name was May. She's still around, she's in her 90s, and she had the cataracts done in her eyes years ago. And I said, how was it? She said, the worst part of it was reading the leaflets telling you what is going to happen. She said, it frightened the life out of me. She said, the actual procedure was about 7 minutes long, if that. She said, but I made the mistake of reading the leaflets. She said, if I hadn't read the leaflets, it would have been fine. And I tend to go along there, you know, don't really want to know what people are doing. Just let me know that I will be better at the end of it, okay? Which at the moment is not the case of this filling, so we'll see what goes on there, okay? Maybe you've got any tooth stories to tell me. I thought about See, again, one of my other friends recently had a tooth out. He had terrible problems with a tooth. And then he just walks into the dentist and say, I want you to take this tooth out now. They took the tooth out and it was a back one. No more pain immediately. The pain disappeared straight away. And I am tempted to go along that. It's one of the back teeth. But I don't actually know, where does that leave you if you're eating things? Does it mean you sort of have to move food around in your mouth with your tongue all the time, you know, to different areas because you can't chew on the bit that that you used to have a tooth on? I don't know. Have you got a back tooth removed, so you've got like almost a space at the back? Did it affect the way you eat? Perhaps you can help me make this decision here. Because if I have to have the root canal treatment, we're talking hundreds of pounds. It's a lot of money to have root canal treatment, and quite apart from that, I've heard sort of stories. I haven't quite read up on it though, and doesn't seem to be a very pleasant experience to have one of these. Might be a lot easier to say, take it out and be done with it. But that will leave me with a gap. What's it like when you have a tooth missing at the back and you try and eat? Does that affect the way you eat at all? Or is it just like you would eat normally? It doesn't really bother you, except you're missing one tooth. Please let me know. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right? Couple of emails before we go today. Hello to James, who says, hi Chris, you were talking about regrets in your life. He says, there are lots of mistakes that people make. There are a few that I've made and I wish I could turn back time and correct the mistakes that I regret. But I know that isn't going to happen. And sometimes it's the wondering, where do I go from here? I hope you find the answer to that. Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I always want to turn the clock back to happier times when you were younger, you know, and to correct some of the really foolish, stupid mistakes that I made. I really would. And the selfish things that I've done over time, I would like to correct those, you know, and to not have done some of the things that perhaps I felt pulled along by other people to do. I won't say what. There is a particular thing there that I did when I was in my 20s, and I just felt pulled along on this train and I just did not know how to stop it, so I went along with it and it was a huge mistake. There are things, but you're quite right, James, there's nothing you can do. You can't turn back the time. James says, I hate those so-called friends that you are always calling, and the ones that never call you. Which we're talking about how difficult it is sometimes to keep in touch with friends. I think it's best to push them to the back of the queue. It's hard sometimes, but I see a friendship as a two-way thing, and if they are not going to put the effort in, why should you? I feel that someone is more deserving of a friendship. I know that some people can be shy, but I find after a while that you get to know each other, then I find that person overcomes their problems of their shyness. So two different subjects James is talking about there, you know. We were going on the talking about people that don't ring you back. I mean, you must have some people yourself, do you? You know, you're always ringing these people. Maybe not every week, but nevertheless, it's always you making the call. And when you don't call, you just never hear from them. I've got several people like that, and eventually I cut them off. I just stop ringing, and you never hear from them again. It's very sad, really, isn't it? You kind of wonder what lives they live, that they haven't got a couple of minutes here and a couple of minutes there to make the phone call to you. Strange, strange. James also said, I thought I'd email you about the boat accident in Italy. That is bad and the worst in history. I heard and the people involved and died. What was the captain thinking of? Well, I don't suppose from 1 minute, James, that he wanted to crash the boat purposely. It just one of those things. It happened. And the environmental damage that could be done too, of course, if all that boat diesel, whatever it's called, leaks out into the water. Terrible damage to the wildlife. He says, I was also watching the news about Scotland talking about going it alone. I feel, why don't they? They've been talking about it for years and it's not going to be easy. And I hope they ain't going to come running back to us if it all goes wrong. Yes, I think it's very, very sad that people in our group of countries want to leave. Certain people want their own independence. I like it, us all being together, part of one big happy family, but will they leave us and become their own country? I wonder what would happen if Scotland and England broke up. Would we have like borders in between the two countries? Would you like have to go through customs when you go from one country to the other? You know, and a border control? It would be very sad, I think, if that actually happens, don't you? You like the idea of us all being one happy family. I don't know if there's any Scottish people watching the show. What do you think? Do you want to go it alone, or do you want to be part of our big happy family, eh? And James also said, we have daffodils coming through already. Ah, yeah, but James, that does happen sometimes in January. We often do get daffodils coming through in January. That's it from the show today. There's a couple of emails that have been hanging around for a week. I'll try and get to those tomorrow. All right, thanks very much for watching and listening. I'll see you on the next show. My email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Hope this ache wears off on my face. See you later. Bye-bye.